tools. So some of the tools that are used in mastering include compressors. Now what we see here is a multiband compressor, a little different than what we've been using so far. And what this basically does is it separates frequencies and compresses them individually. So I can compress just the low frequencies and do that independent of high frequencies and mid frequencies, etc. We also have limiters, which is a compressor with an infinity to 1 ratio. And here we see Maxim, and basically with these limiters, they're often called brick wall limiters, and they're going to take and make sure nothing passes 0 so that we can pump up that mix and make it as loud as possible. And they've gotten really good at building these look-ahead limiters, and so this one, for example, actually looks further on in the mix to prepare for the information that's coming so that it can be prepared to limit it much more effectively. And this is something that has made it so that the mixes get louder and louder and have led to loudness wars, which we'll be discussing later on. Now this is usually the last in the chain, the limiter, just to get it as hot as possible after we've done compression and some equalization. Now with equalization, sometimes people will use the Renaissance equalizer, which we've been using. There's other really high quality equalizers out there. There's linear phase EQs, which do equalization without any phase shift or anything like that, sound very clean and clear, and are often used in the mastering process. And oftentimes the mastering process will not just be done in a program, but they will have very high quality outboard equipment with equalizers that go up to 25, 30 kilohertz instead of just 20 kilohertz, and compressors and limiters that work really well and sound amazing. And finally, they have custom consoles, often in mastering facilities, where the signal chain is very short and very clean, and they'll have maybe built-in equalization, some limited patching so they can get to the devices that they need to. But really, master engineers are all about quality, and so they're going to want to send it through as little as possible to maintain the highest fidelity. And the speakers that are used in mastering studios are hi-fi, high-fidelity speakers, and oftentimes very, very expensive, $20,000, $30,000 for a pair of speakers. And they can't go as loud as, obviously, PA speakers and studio monitors, but they're very accurate and very detailed, so that the mastering engineer can pick up on any problems that have occurred in the process and fix those problems. So these are some of the tools. We'll be using some of these in the process of mastering our project, and hopefully you can get an idea of what is happening in mastering with these tools.